I just want all of the credit with none of the blame. Coming at you twice in one day with some breaking wilderness news. Today on Patreon, Rudy gave an update on his kits, and they're going to be delayed. So if you did order one, they're going to be delayed until April 8th. But the really interesting news from his post is that in addition to the Green Man, the secret rare serialized card that I talked about in the video earlier today, there are some very rare Willy Wonka style cards or tickets or something in the wilderness products that are also being released. To my knowledge, these have not been discovered yet, so it's not exactly clear what shape or form this is going to take, but it's being likened to Willy Wonka. So jump out of bed like Grandpa Joe, get to work at the peanut shelling factory, and start shelling some MetaZoo product. It's a very niche reference for people who don't know that Veruca Saltstad owns a peanut shelling factory. So there's still definitely a lot of questions around this. All that's really known is coming from this post from Rudy's Patreon page. I've seen a couple other people post about this already on their feeds, on their private discords, etc. But it's really just reiterations of what Rudy's saying here. And what I really find interesting is what's going to be on these redemption cards or these redemption tickets. Is it going to be other wilderness products? For example, is it going to be a free booster box that you might be able to pick up, or a free release event deck? Or perhaps it's for items from the MetaZoo Marketplace store, shirts and hats and that kind of memorabilia, to get people to purchase that may not purchase it otherwise. And what would be really interesting, and maybe this is a bit too far-fetched and I just want it to be true, is redemptions for things like CN1 booster boxes or Kickstarter booster boxes that might still be laying around. Something to get those products into the hands of people who weren't around when they were affordable. You know, now that the CN1 booster box is $900 and the Kickstarter ones are much more expensive than that, it's really not something that somebody that got in later in the game can get their hands on without spending a fortune. I know myself, I'm not going to go out and buy a CN1 booster box, but I would love to have one. So I've been picking up cards here and there as I find a deal on them, as they show up on Whatnot. In single streams for a good deal, I'll pick a couple of those up. But am I ever going to get a CN1 Mothman? Probably not. And this would be a great way to get that in the hands of people who aren't going to pay $350 to $500 for a CN1 Mothman. So that's all I had for this quick update. I just wanted to get this out in the wild. Rudy's Patreon, obviously, is not something that everybody is a part of, so it's a very close-knit group of people that have this information at the moment, and I wanted to make sure that you knew what was going on. I know if I find one of these cards, it's going to be like I just drank some fizzy lifting drink. I'm going to be riding that glass elevator through the ceiling. All right, enough of the Willy Wonka jokes. Thank you and good night.